Welcome back, everybody. This is Nuke Marine giving you the last lesson for Hiragana in James Hazig's Remembering the Kana. Uh, Let me bring up the notepad I've been building up. And of course, at the bottom, here we are. We see all the characters. By the end of this lesson, we'll have all this filled in. And you can then be going on to learning the katakana in another 3 hours. Uh, So the point about this lesson is that these last few characters don't fall into any real category, don't have similarities to each other, but we'll try to make do, and again allow you to then finish and add on to that. You'll be reinforcing with practice. That it also give kind of reference what I gave last lesson about some practice techniques, and then of course we want to keep up while moving into hiragana, maybe from then into either Japanese or kanji studies. So let's begin. First character we want to cover up is over here. Now that looks like hi, but what we're going to do is sort of like a he. We want to think of it as being a he, as in he the pronoun, heap of trouble, he. Now the key word we want to think about is heel. Now that's it. Heel of the foot. Kind of like really no easy way to think about it, to put this into terms. But think of the handlebars of a bicycle right there. Okay, and there's a little knot. So when we're going to do he, what he's thinking about the story. Imagine if you've got two characters for Te. Now here's Te, right? But you got two of them, and one of them, so it's kind of like mirror images of each other. So we have Te, and then we're also going to have the mirror image of Te right there. And what we want to do is take this handlebar and using your heel, you're stomping on the handlebar and bending up the handle so it looks like two Te's are put together on each other. So we're going to do a Te, and then there's a reverse Te going a little bit further down. And that becomes he. So it's like handlebars using your heel to make it into two Te's combined together. Now, one of my students, she came up with a joke. Well, I'm guessing it was a joke because everybody laughed, right? And she says, okay, how she was told to remember this is, and this is for visual only though, is what does he have that she does not? Okay. And the reason why I bring that up is, again, that's a visual for recognition only. The reason why I'm giving you this story is the idea is how you can replicate or draw from when you hear he, you think of heel, you use your heel of your foot to make the handlebars into two Te's. So draw the Te, come back, and down again. And it may be a bit more. So depending on the font, the appearance of the he will change. So let's go down and give some words that use this he. So first word we want to think about is himo. Hiiki, and there's the e. So anytime that's on an e line or an a line, it stretches out the pronunciation of the he. Or if this were a heiki, hiki, and finally himawari. So that's he. Now, what I usually do at this point, because this is a voiced, and in fact it's voiced two different ways, we come down here. So here we have is the ha, which if we voice it becomes ba. And then while we're down here, I'll come out here. If we do the little circle there, we call the plosive. The ha becomes pa. Same thing with a, or he becomes be, or pe, or ho becomes bo, po. So he, up here, would become be, or po. So let's go back up here. So here we have, we'll voice it first. Which is like little bo p or b, as in being your bond. So b, or the letter b, but b. Then we'll also do right here. We'll say p as in peas in a pod, but it could be p as in urinate. So yeah, okay, baby language, go for it. But anyway, so here we go. If we wanted to, if we wanted to voice it, so bimo, biki, biki, bimawadi, bimawadi. Then we can make a plosive, little circular thing, and this is only on the he line. The plosive is only on the line. So pimo, piiki, piiki. I think piki is a reference to an animal. Pimawadi. So there's your pronunciation practice for P. So let me pause it, fill in the blanks, and go on to the next character. So here we go with the first character. So he is in heel. Next thing we're going to move on to, we're going to get the last of the ya lines. So let's carry on with here. So let's scroll down a bit. So ya. Well, what you do is, actually I kind of gave it away, but here we are. Ya. So that's ya as in yacht or maya. Ya. Keyword to take away, when you hear ya, think of a yard. If you want to think of, remember how for we had the ape? So think of the ape in your yard. The ape in your yard that was practicing hiragana. So we had the ape in the yard that needed to practice hiragana. So what happened was, remember he had to use a puppy tail. So how did he get the puppy tail? So you hear yard, think of the story of how the ape got the puppy tail. So first thing you want to do is he sees a puppy he's in the yard and he sees a puppy. He needs to get the puppy near him. So he's going to beckon the puppy over. So we're going to go beck. And when I'm saying beckon here, think back to you. When I said I want you, so there's a little thing, and then this right here, that part right there I called was the beckoning. So using this is like a version of beckoning. So he beckons the puppy over. Said, hey, come over here. Then when the puppy comes over, as puppies will, because it's a cute little ape, and he's going to take the puppy's tail. So right there's the puppy's tail. And then with that puppy's tail, he's going to take the tail and put it onto the stick. So that now the ape can now use the puppy tail to draw kana. So here are the stroke orders again. Is the beckon with the stroke, and then beckon with the little puppy tail, beckon with the little puppy tail that he then takes and puts on a stick. So that's ya. So yard, the ape in the yard, getting the puppy over to put the tail on the stick. Ya. Now, words that use this. Ya. Ya, yard. Okay, sorry, I was drawing all the characters out. Alright, so first word is Yamato. Probably in reference to a historical figure in addition to Battleship Yamato. So Yamato. Second one was Sakuya. And Yahari, which is sort of like what you would say if someone does something that you are expecting to happen. So Yahari. So that's ya. Now, just like with you and yo, there is that what I call reference as the E line. So ki, chi, shi, ni, he, me. So let's go and bring this up real quick. So we have the think about the akasata. So we have the ki, the gi. Let me pause it and let me write these out so I'm not wasting too much of your time. Just stand by. Alright, so here's a chart that I was talking about. So right now we're doing ya. So, sorry about that. So ki and ya, kya. Don't know too many. If I don't know what the English word is, I apologize. I'll just pronounce it for you, and if I can think of a word, I might put it on the annotations in the video later on. So kya, gi, ya, gya. Now this one's easy. So sha, shi, ya becomes sha, as in shopping, or sha of Iran. Ja, G and ya, ja, as in John, or not necessarily ja, but ja. So this is chi, cha, So that's cha as in Charles or cha cha. I don't think there's an English word equivalent that helps this, but ni and ya, nya. Now this one I think of the old cowboy movies like a hya mule, he and ya, hya mule. So b and ya, bya, p and ya, pya. So hya mule, bya mule, pya mule, or hya horsey. Okay. And then me, whereas you got miya, mia, but now we got mya, mya, mya. I was thinking of meow, but mya, so myas. I just think of meow, so I think of meow. And same as got you for a dragon, so we have you, yo, ya, ri, ya, ya. Again, there's not really an English equivalent to help express what these words are for a few of these. Use what you can. So we did get a few though. The cha and the ja for John, and I think the sha and the cha, cha, ja, maybe a ya. So that's ya. And if we wanted to give a couple more practices, because I like to do the plosives little practice, so ya, ma, do, yamado, za, ku, ya, zakuya, ya, pa, di, yapari. In fact, I can even do a little plosive here. I'm sorry, the glottal stop. So yapari. And there we are. So let me go and get rid of all these characters and start up for the next one. So there's our two characters of 7 we'll be covering today, Heel and Ya, with what we call the diphthong here for Cha for Charles, and all the other variances. So next character, and this one, I've never had real luck with this character teaching and feeling comfortable with how the story works. But again, we'll try to teach you and work with what I have. So first things first, let's give the pronunciation. S-E or say. So this is say as in say hello, sail, say. Well, more sail, say. I always pronounce it say. I already must say. May have a slight say, say. It'll blend depending on when you get used to it. You'll get used to it as you start hearing Japanese more. Part of your practice should be listening to lots of Japanese, either TV shows or songs or whatnot. You get used to hearing how native speakers pronounce this. So here we have a say. Now our keyword for say seance. Now seance is the little psychic, or not really psychic game. I guess a psychic game, but I think it's more of a fraud or whatnot. But again, say around a circle, trying to summon spirits if you're not sure what a seance is. So here we are is seance. First thing I want to do is imagine a seance is you got the 2 daggers, because normally what you're going to do is draw the symbols with the daggers, and instead of using and creating lines and performing whatever ritual is needed to perform the seance. So imagine you're holding 2 daggers. First thing you want to do is draw a line in the ground. So there we are drawing the line. Say. Slightly going up, but say. That's the first stroke. Second stroke you want to do is actually represent the dagger one dagger laying across it. Okay. And it'll be right here on the right side. So start here and a little tick up. So right there. So it almost looks like a dagger is laying across the line. And then for the second dagger, what you want to do is finish off the line, and this one's laying down in an odd way for maybe the handle is crossing the line, and then what you want to do is almost like drawing an L in English, but it's across the line, finishing up under. So that would represent the second dagger. And maybe this little line here is kind of like the spirits of seance actually revealing themselves after you've completed the symbol. So that's say as in seance. What's happening here, let me just show you for the stroke order, is your pen is following this line here. But all you're doing is picking up your pen and completing the say for seance. Some words that use seance is, let me give some room up here. This is one you're going to learn early on in Japanese class if you take a college course, most likely. arimasen. Arimasen, which means is not in a polite way. Setsu. I'm not sure what they're quickly, maybe kisetsu, second character, so almost like a sequence or a node. Say, so say, and like I was saying here, how the e here is actually stretching out the what we call the vowel sound on here. So say, or also be like say e say. All right, so arimasen setsu say. Now, just like before, this is the S line. What we like, what I kind of like was showing here is the S line, if you would. So the say, if we do this, well, that's ugly, but all right, becomes say becomes zay, as in zany, sure, or Zane, Billy Zane, zany. There you go. So zay. Now I don't really like this, but so arimazen, zetsu, zetsu, zay, 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 zay. And with that, that would be the character. Let's pause it and carry on for the next character. And there it goes of our third character. So we got he for heel, keyword heel, ya, yard, ape in the yard, say, seance. Next character. Ka, ka, as in calm, Inca, ka. Or if you're from Brooklyn, ka, ka, car. But in fact, the keyword, think of the the Brooklyn ka, so it's a, I don't even do it like here, ka fight. All right. Yeah, the people are so tough in Brooklyn, even their cars have fights. So, car fight. So what I want you to imagine is that if two cars are having a fight, they're probably going to use for swords are the little antennas. Because you probably as a kid, or okay, I as a kid would take an antenna from a car and it would expand out, and I'd use it like a little whip or saber or sword, whatnot. Fun things to do as a kid. So it makes sense that cars also, if they're having fun, would have a fight. So what you do is imagine a car. They're using their antennas as fencing, as maybe rapiers. So little flexible swords or daggers. So flexible daggers, sure. So if you have, so this first stroke is going to represent the flexible part of the dagger. So come up here and it's going to curve down, almost like the curve of the H or whatnot. But so here you can go. So that's the first stroke. Second stroke is going to help represent the dagger itself. So there we go. We get a stroke cutting across. And there, that there represents like the blade of the dagger. So there is a flexible, that tells you it's a flexible dagger like a rapier. And to help you tell that, hey, this is a car, for some reason, the swords have this puppy tail, kind of like if you think of, in my imagination, back in the 70s or 60s or whatnot, just to look cool, they would tie foxtails, or in this case, puppy tails, to the antennas of cars. So in this case, these two cars still had the puppy tails attached when they got in a fight. Maybe they were making fun of who had the better puppy tail decoration. So, ka fight. Ka. There's a first stroke is the flexibility of the dagger, and the second stroke shows the dagger, and then the third stroke is the puppy tail. Some words that use this. Scroll on down here. Some words that use this. Manaka. Manaka. And that's like right in the middle of. Mukae. 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 Kanon. 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 Okay, so manaka, mukae, kanon. Now, this is on the k line. So if ko becomes go and ki becomes gi, ka becomes ga, as in Lady Gaga. Gone with the Wind. Ga. In fact, I'll do gone. Sure. Ga. Gone. Maybe. Maybe we pronounce it a little bit. But I think Lady Gaga or Radio Gaga or Goo Goo Gaga. Sure. It all can work. So let's try some voice practicing. Sorry. No, forgot that. Okay. So naga, like onaga suita. Naga itself means stomach, but so maybe this is like right in the middle of the stomach. Who knows? Mugae, mugae, ganon, ganon. Maybe the boss of a Zelda game. Who knows? Might be a reference to that, just for fun. All right. So there's ka or ga, gone, and let's pause it. Move on to the next character. So 4 characters down, 3 more to go. So we got he, ya, se, seance, ka, Boston Ka fight. Next 3 actually I like because they're fun to teach. But the reason also why I like them is that when I was learning Japanese the first time, I was doing hiragana, the brute force method, which they call is me writing it. They teach it in an order, and you write it down dozens of times, hoping something sticks. So I didn't recognize them well, and I didn't write them down well. These next few characters, also some characters I've taught you already. I found out though after doing this, not only just this series, but at classes teaching it, but also reading it in the book itself, is that it did help my writing. And I think if it helped me as someone who's already familiar with the writing system, it also definitely helps students who are just getting into it without having to waste maybe getting some false starts. So the first of the last 3 characters, sure, we'll go for is this right here. Now this is the E line, so this is like me, as in me, myself, and Irene. Me, myself, and I. Me. Me as in do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Me. And enemy. Enemy mine. Enemy. Me. Keyword we want to take from this, because it also sounds like this, is meat. Or if you want, kangaroo. I'll even write that in, sure. Kangaroo meat. Kangaroo meat. And if you want to, if you think back to this description here at the flagpole, there was the wasp mess, and one of the 7 dwarves happened to work at Outback Steakhouse, and at Outback Steakhouse they all had to wear name tags in the which was it looked like boomerangs, and there was so he took off his name tag boomerang and tossed it at the wasp that was chasing him, and wow, that is an ugly. May I mention, by the way, that trying to draw this on this pad, it's a beautiful pad and whatnot to help give these lessons. But it does make the writing look horrid at times. Part of it is my writing is horrible, but I'm hands off an angle. So I again apologize for the appearance of these characters from time to time. Probably why you see me correcting them. But anyway, back onto the story. So there's the me. Think of kangaroo meat. So what the story is happening is here. We have the 7 dwarves. So think of the 7 right there. Okay? So we have the 7 dwarves. And the 7 dwarves want to have some kangaroo meat. Meat that they get themselves. So they travel to Australia. And the best way to hunt for kangaroos is to use boomerangs. So 7 dwarves are hunting kangaroos with boomerang. And of course the 7 dwarves want to eat kangaroo meat. And the best part of the meat comes from the kangaroo's tail. So think of this tail right here. And what they're going to do is use the dagger. So use that last stroke to represent the dagger to cut the kangaroo meat off the tail to serve for kangaroo steaks. Maybe at Outback Steakhouse. Who knows? So there we go. So 7 dwarves, and this is all one stroke here. And then right here is the dagger representing cutting of the kangaroo meat. So meat. Some words that use this character. Mikan, sort of like a tangerine of sorts. Nakami, inside of something, the insides of something. mi mas. The su isn't this. I'll just say right now. When you get into Japanese, you'll learn this isn't really pronounced no mi masu. This is no mi mas, no mi mas, and this is like the polite way of saying to drink, nomu. So no mi mas, no mi mas. Now mi isn't voiced, however. Uh, it is the part of the ya you ya you yo. So you could have a mio or a mia or a mu, as in maybe music, music. Sure, I'll go with that. So, in addition to, let's get some voice practice in there. Okay, so migan, nagami, no mimazu. Sure, and that's me. So let me pause that real quick and get on to the next character. Alright, 5 characters. So heal, ya, seance, car fight, kangaroo meat. Next to last. Penultimate, I guess was the word. Next to last. So the character is this, and this is a one with the odd pronunciation. Now, this is called fu. Where it's at is, believe it or not, this is what you're getting. Ha, he. This right here. So ha, he, he, ho. But this isn't really who. It's like a H and a F. So it's almost like a who. It's like you're saying who, but you're making a slight F with your bottom lip. So who. So it's more of a F than a H. So fu, fu. Like fool or food, but not food, but fu. A bit softer on the F, if you would, if there's a way to say it. Good solution is, of course, listen to some Japanese and try to pick up for when you hear the when the H, then the who becomes make an appearance. Now, what I would like to do with this story is to think. Here's a keyword, and I'm going to change to what Hazek has in his book. So if you have the book, this will be a little different. Keyword we're going to do is think of is the fool. Now that's the fool. Think of the fool as in the court fool or the court gesture with the little floppy hat. So that will be the key. So this is a court gesture instead of a floppy hat. Let's say he has a rat hat or a puppy hat. No, he's a fool with a puppy hat. So that's the key word, fool. Now the puppy hat is obviously, if you got a puppy for a hat, is the tail is going to come down and then so that's the tail. That's the first stroke. Second stroke then is the tail, and what's happening is the tail is falling over the fool's nose. So this second stroke, let it represent the nose. Kind of looks like, if you ever did the oo or the su, kind of looks like that. Let me get rid of those. So the second stroke is, we're going to let be the nose. And the little puppy's feet are dangling over his, and then we're going to use the E for ears. So here's what I'm going to have you do. Imagine you drawing an E, right? But what I want you to do is imagine you drawing an E a little further out, like that. All right. So this third character, we done the tail over the nose, and what we're going to do is the E, the little feet over the ears. Those are the third and fourth strokes, and that would be fool. So let me draw it for you fully on you. Huh. Who. Some words that use this. Fun sui. Sofu. Hifu. So funsui, sofu, hifu. Not really sure what these words mean, but it's all right. We're just using it for pronunciation practice anyway. Now, These are the words. This is in this hotline. So just like if we can voice it, we can do one of two things. We can voice it like that, or also make it a plosive. So if ha becomes ba, then fu becomes, actually this is easy, boo, as in boo boo. So let me do this real quick. We're just going to say boo, as in boo hoo, or the ghost says boo. Similarly, if we use the plosive, we can say poo, as in Winnie the Pooh, or in reference to defecation. Sure. Snicker all you want. So anyway, so boo or poo. Hey boo boo. Sure. Yogi Bear. We can walk with that. So if we wanted to have fun here, let's do some. We'll do the hard stuff first. Just for unsure. So this becomes, instead of fun sui, it becomes boon zui, boon zui. And instead of sofu, this becomes zo bu, zobu. And instead of hifu, this is pi bu, pibu, pibu. Similarly, we can do these as plosives right here. So pun zui, so pu, sopu. In fact, we can even do this, sopu, which would actually be in reference to the English word soap. Soap, or if I got rid of zopu, instead of zopu, it would become sopu, sopu. And then pipu, pipu, which, again, baby language, there we go, or baby words. So these, again, may not be Japanese words. I keep stressing that. They may or may not be. So don't take these. This, again, just to help you with pronunciation practice. Little alliteration there, sure. With that, we'll pause and go on to the final character, and then, of course, close out the entire hiragana lessons. And now to the ultimate kana that we'll be teaching on this first series. So, hi, ya, se, ka, mi, and fu. And what I like to add for about fu is that this character, I think, has given college students learning Japanese a lot of trouble for writing. Maybe, I don't know about recognition, but definitely writing. And like I said, when I first read the story, it's like, wow, that flowed so much easier, both in the writing. So hopefully it helps you out for the writing course. So you're not, that's just one thing that's not getting in your way when you are going on to your Japanese study. So now let's go back to the last character. Now this last character, even though it's pronounced, you'll find out when you get into Japanese grammar, it's it's pronounced quite differently than what I'm going to be teaching you. In fact, I'm not even going to give you sample words because none was given. But here we go. To start off, the character last character. Whoa. Now this is woe as in how woed. Woe is woe as, I guess, a Keanu word. Keanu Reeves would say whoa. So, but what words he gives in here for hazing is how old, row over, row, whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe instead of row, row, whoa, 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 you boat. Whoa, slow down. Whoa. Key word. Well, in fact, we're going to give you two ways to think about it. Two key words. I'll even give you two key words. One is I'm okay. You're okay. I'm okay. Or the Olympics. Instead of the Olympics, you have the Wolympics. You can even think of it as the Olympics because you'll find out this character is pronounced O more often than you'll ever hear it pronounced whoa. So when we're thinking I'm okay, you're okay, here's the reason. Here's the two stories. First thing you think, I'm okay, you're okay. Let's make it a drug reference. Apologies, but marijuana. Let's say I'm okay, you're okay. I'm so okay because I'm smoking on a J. Making that up, but sure, let's go for it. So marijuana, I forgot what TLC, but let's say THC is the active ingredient of marijuana. So when you think of whoa, I'm okay, you're okay, what you want to do is use the T for the T, and then the T and the H will be superimposed. TH. And then the TH And then what you're going to do is sort of like you did with the toe, but the C is going to look like you're going to let the toe represent the C. So THC. I'm okay, you're okay, smoking on a J or marijuana, whatnot, Mary J. So THC. All right. That's if you want to go there. And a student saw, recognized that, and kind of liked it, so I teach it as a class. Because here's the other thing is the Olympics. So imagine you're doing the Hiragana Olympics or Olympics. What you want to do is learn how to jump over a haystack. So, as one would do, right? And so what you want to do when you jump over a haystack, first thing you want to do is the judges are going to have this dagger. So here's that dagger, all right? And when you jump over the haystack, so this right here is going to represent the haystack, the haystack. When you jump over the haystack, what they're going to do is use that dagger and mark where your toe has landed. So at the Olympics, you'll jump over the haystack, and the judges use that dagger you drew, the dagger they had, to mark where your toe lands. And that's how far you jumped over the haystack. So that's the whoa. And once again, there, like I said in the beginning, there aren't going to be any sample words here. This is mainly used in grammar, and reason being, this is when you see it, it's going to be really in reference to what they call the particles or postposition articles. And this is going to reference, when you see this, it means something, whatever character is right before it, something is happening, being done to that character. It's the object of the sentence, if you would, put it in English terms. So you're going to hear it as o a lot. Boku o, watashi o, inu o, hon o, michi o, something, and something is happening. So town o, car o, me o, and it was just something's happening to me, something's happening to my car, something's happening to the town. So anyway, that's a little grammar thing, and so we'll leave it at that. So let's go and draw. Since I'm already done, let's start down here, and just for fun, if we wanted to, we can actually fill in this very last character, right? So there's a wa. There may be a we, a woo, and a we as a character. Very ancient, very older character is not used anymore. Who cares? We're just going on what's used in common Japanese parlance now. So we are now all filled up. Officially, you are done with the Hiragana lessons. You do have to do it like I mentioned last lesson. Once a day, take about 5 minutes out of your day. Make the little chart, the akasata naha maya rabaun. Do the a, I, u, e, o across the top. And start going left to right and start filling her in by memory. Start filling in all the characters. If you don't know what a character is, circle it. Second thing is to teach you is the ka, the sa, the ta, and the ha, and all those lines can be voiced. So they become the ba, ha, babi, bube, bo, ta, chi, daji, zu, de, do, zaji, zuze, zo, gagi, gugego. The hairline can be plosive, so this is pa, pi, pu, pe, po. And let's do that. And then, of course, don't forget is that the E line then can have this right here where it's like kya, kyo, kyu, gya, gyu, gyo, sha, shi, sha, shu, sho, ja, ji, jo, ja, ju, jo, cha, chu, cho, nya, nyu, nyo, hya, hyu, hyo, nya, myu, myo, ya, hyu, hyo. And you can write it out as your so believe it or not, that this takes 5 minutes. That 5 minutes over the next 2 weeks. And when you don't know it, you make a circle and go back and fill it in when you're done filling in all the other things you know. Your mind then starts, you'll find out you're circling less and less after 2 weeks. And by that time, you should be well hopefully into the Japanese study where writing these characters out as part of homework or just your self-study methods is just a part of practice, and you don't need to reinforce this fake reinforcement, if you would. It's going to be reinforced with actual Japanese. Now, won't finish up there, so I'm just kind of rambling. You will be going on into the next course, which is katakana. Katakana, I think, goes a lot faster because we don't have to worry about some things we stress early on. In addition to, may I add, since we are done. Notice how we covered all this. We covered the voice marks. If you were doing the Hazig book, what I mentioned early on in the first lesson is that at this point in time, what he would have done is he would have started showing all these voice marks and plosives and I'm not sure, the diphthongs and the I think was the, what they call it, the glottal stops. We've already covered that over these last 3 hours. So, and I think it was better because then I can go back and reinforce it. So, and I found out when my first class when I didn't do that, I don't think they got much out of it. I think it we caught up with it in Hiragana and katakana, but I think it was much more effective to teach it, and this is the reason why I'm teaching in the video throughout the course, starting from the beginning instead of saving it till the end. So, lesson 6, we are complete. You have given me 3 hours of your time. Hopefully, I've returned back to you the Japanese syllabary called Hiragana. Give me another 3 hours. Hopefully, I can return to you as soon as I make the videos the Japanese syllabary called katakana. And after that is a number of hours, as I say, is building into kanji. If there are any questions or concerns, please post them in the comments of either this lesson or any of the other lessons dealing with it. You can also write back to us, refer to Reviewing the Kanji website. Go to the forums there, create an account, post comments there to either threads that I've made or just generally, and hopefully people can answer. And again, this is just a first step. It is a step into getting better at Japanese. This is the part where it helps with literacy, but it will help with the spoken language because you can then tie it back to tie it to a different area. So with that, I will bid you good night, and hopefully if you're starting this lesson from scratch and I have the series complete, I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Thank you.